So hi there again. Now we come to chapter 2. In chapter 2, I want to deal with in this way that we spend some time on what I would call creation of new paradigms. Sorry, having a coffee here. So in order to understand paradigm, we have to know what is a paradigm. So what are paradigms? Paradigms are not ideas as we know conventionally of an idea. Paradigms are the underlying structure on which you build ideas, on which the entire society's structures are built. In these paradigms are the hidden layers upon which something you take for granted as you are having an idea, but you are building upon an existing paradigm. I'll give you an example. These are basic beliefs. Let's see the first bullet. It says paradigms are basic beliefs, thought structures and patterns based upon which all other ideas are built and created, right? So let's talk about that for a little bit. Now, what's the difference between paradigms and ideas? Well, paradigms are the ground, the foundation upon which ideas are built upon. And we usually do not see these paradigms because they are built by deeper structures of human civilization, like our institutions, educational institutions, governance, laws, educational institutions, faiths and religion. They're based on certain paradigms. They're certain, most of the time they're assumptions. We'll get to the part later, but these are basic beliefs in thought structures and patterns, okay? In which you say, okay, humans are in any culture or part of the world, if you go, they say, oh, this is what we believe to be unquestioned truth. And based upon this, we will build other ideas. So those are the underlying things upon which all ideas rest. Like the foundation of a building. The entire building rests on a foundation which goes into the ground and the building stands on top of it. So paradigms are like the foundational ideas. So it's necessary when we talk of, as we've spoken of in the first chapter, we've spoken of we need to create a new human being, we need to create a new civilization and all this stuff. And now we are saying we need new paradigms in order for that to happen successfully. It's like if you want to build a new building or a new kind of building, you need to first remove the very foundation, not just destroy what's on top. You even need to dig up the ground and remove the foundation, because the new building may have a different kind of structure which needs a different kind of foundation. We're talking about something like that here. We're talking about something that basic over here, right? And so we need to establish new paradigms. Well, what is an example of, before we go into that, what is good example of an assumption of a paradigm? Let's say in every society, in modern living, these days we get up, young or old, and let's start from the young age. You're told you get up, you must go to school, you must study well, you get good grades, you get good marks, and then you'll become successful, or you get a job or a business, and then you can be a successful person in life. Now the underlying assumptions made here is that you must study something. For what is not told? Why should I study certain things? Or how is it aligned with me as a human being? Remember we spoke in chapter 1 about human being basic criteria, basic definition, right? So, the human being, the 5 pillars of human being, knowledge, compassion, understanding, love, beauty, all of these, the human nature of the human being is the basic foundation, really. But our modern paradigms do not sit upon that. They're not built upon that. They're built on assumptions. You study, you go to school, you get a job, and then you'll be successful. Underlying all of this is the assumption that you must comply or go by or obey the established structure. The established structure being you have to study certain books, memorize them so that it gets ingrained into your brain, so that your brain works in a certain pattern, and using that pattern, you will fit into the society which is already pre-structured. So the existing paradigms always move all the humanity through certain preset structures, right? Let it be any institution. You talk of education, government, religion, faith, this, that. All of these basic structures, they just are herding entire loads of humanity through a set of pre-established paradigms. Now we want to break them. If you have to remove the old building, you have to remove the old foundation. Only then you can build a new one. Right? Most paradigms, let's go to the next one. That's one example. Most paradigms that exist today have silent assumptions built in them, which causes a lot of confusion in human states of being. So that's what I'm saying. We all know of all of us, let it be students, let it be academics, let it be professionals, we all know of the daily grind that we get up in, doesn't matter what age we are or where we are, thinking, why am I getting up? I'm not happy about doing whatever the things I'm doing. Why am I supposed to do all these things? What is it getting me in my life? What is this whole life thing about? Constant state of confusion because of the silent assumptions that are built in, that if you do A, B, C, D, then you will get to X, Y, Z, which is what you're supposed to do. See, you're supposed to be like this, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to that, supposed to this. That's an assumption. They are silent, they are in the background. But those, if they are not in alignment with what the human being is, what the basic structure of the human being in spirit and action is, then it's not going to lead you to happiness as an individual. Doesn't matter what society says or what government says. You might even have the Pope or Alexander the Great coming and telling you something. It's not going to make you happy. You're an individual being. Next one. The new paradigms must be built around the true human being and being in action and symbiotic synthetic circle we discussed previous chapter, first chapter 1. We discussed this. So everything must be built around the human being and around the human being in action and around the symbiotic synthetic circle, right? What else is there? The new paradigms must be fully transparent without assumptions or hidden agendas. Whatever society was going on till now was built upon control and manipulation. Everything is about control. The teacher has to control the classroom. The priest has to control his church, or temple, or mosque, or whatever it is. The military commander must control his regiment. The government must control its people. It's all about control and manipulation. That's not suitable at all to the human being or what the human being is really about. No wonder the humans all are unhappy. Doesn't matter what they do or how much success they have in material wealth or in anything. They might be the most richest of the rich. They're very, very unhappy. There's a constant void inside them because they are not being in touch with their real being and what it needs. Right? So the new paradigm must be fully transparent. Transparent meaning it must be fully aligned with human being and human being in action and with the synthesis and symbiotic relationship. It must always enhance the true freedom of expression, meaning you get up every morning and you're free to express whatever you want, which is in alignment with the human being in actions. The true human being and the true human being in actions, you will naturally wake up bubbling to create. You want to actually get up and do something by yourself, without your mother, father saying anything, without your teacher saying anything, without your boss saying anything, without the government saying anything, without anybody charismatic leader coming and shouting out slogans from anything. You don't have to be brainwashed by anyone. You'll be naturally happy. You are in a natural state of being, natural state of happiness, natural state of creation, action, everything. Right? And so, what are the spherical processes? I call them now spherical processes, right? What is spherical process? Means it goes in all directions. It's a sphere and it's not linear. It's not a straight line. I'm given bullets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but these bullets are all wound up together, okay? One can lead to the other or you can follow them in any structure, any order you want. There's no final point to this. This is just a concept, how we need to evolve. The first thing we need to do in order to build a new paradigm, we have to end the stories, myths, and beliefs. There are too many stories floating around, too many myths, too many belief systems and faiths, too many this and that, too many histories told. And people have a gall of telling you that history repeats itself. Of course, it will repeat itself because you are telling the same story over and over again. How do you expect anything to change if you keep telling the same story over and over again, right? So you have to end the stories, all stories. There should be no stories, it should be factual. Fact. Everything should be based in fact, science, and provable and in alignment with human being. Next, we have to end assumptions, programming, and scientific assumption-based truths or laws. We still keep going by apple dropped on Newton's head or Einstein's laws as if nobody past Newton or Einstein has got any brain worth its salt. This is ridiculous. Human civilizations have come and gone on this planet. Many have had great scientific knowledge and progress to your research. And human civilization is continuously evolving. It's not static. Science did not end with Newton or Tesla or Einstein. Come on. There are all of you out there. I'm sure you've got far more ideas to contribute. And you can make far more fundamental breakthroughs in science and technology even. Where is that? Why is all that not coming out? So we must destroy the assumptions and the programming that whatever laws we have made so far, even in science, are the ultimate. We should be ready to break our old laws. Any science has progressed by breaking the old laws and evolving new laws. As in, even by scientific proving, it has been evolved. Nobody would believe just half a century ago, nobody would believe quantum physics would exist. Quantum physics broke all the laws of Newtonian physics. They're very, very different. Just go and do your research. Next point I make is about something what I call integrative analysis. Let me read out this and then we can explain this, right? What is integrative analysis? All known scientific and empirical evidence, whatever has been established so far, okay? There is a scientific empirical evidence and multilateral collective of human knowledge, all the knowledge of humanity has ever accumulated in any field till this point. You integrate it by learning and discussions. First is the analysis and the integration of all knowledge. How can this be done? There is so much of knowledge in every field. Well, discuss it in forum, debate it, challenge it, and how it meets the sphere of the human being. Does it meet it or not? If it's not, reject it, expand it to meet the human being. Everything must be recreated in the spirit of enhancing the human being, right? It's not that everything has to be completely destroyed. Knowledge has been accumulated with some degree of perception by our human brothers and sisters who are dead and gone now, scientists, doctors, whoever. But we need to re-evolve, which is more aligned with the correct human being. Next one, differential synthesis. What does this mean? Combining fields of knowledge with overlaps where applicable. That means if something now discovered in biology, we can discover how it is applicable in physics. If something is discovered in chemistry, we can discover how it's applied in psychology. Why not? Nobody has done this exercise. I am proposing here we do something called differential synthesis. Means different ideas but synthesize them. And the translation of scientific knowledge and how discoveries in one field can be applied to seemingly unrelated field. How can physics be applied to painting? Or how can chemistry be applied to mobile phones? Or you know what I'm saying? So there must be discoveries happening right now and all along which has happened, which can be used in different fields, are seemingly unrelated, but the principle is the same. So once the principle is discovered in something, you can always use it in other places. You need to think about this. It's a huge topic, all of these. These are basic foundational ideas. Last, focus. Fundamental breakthroughs. What should be the focus of creating new paradigm? We should create fundamental breakthroughs. What will be the example of fundamental breakthrough? Well, invention of the wheel, invention of electricity. invention of alternating current, invention of atomic power, invention of flight. That man could fly in a machine, planes, or rocket. That's the fundamental breakthrough. How you break through at a most deepest level. Invention of an atom, discovery of an atom. Not saying the same things over and over again. We haven't seen a fundamental breakthrough in decades now. The last fundamental breakthrough was back when quantum physics was developed by Einstein. Since then, there is nothing. Everybody's running around just with smartphones as if that's the fundamental breakthrough. No, fundamental breakthrough is something where let's say we discover anti-gravity. We discover how to make objects levitate physically with laws of physics, new physics. That's a fundamental breakthrough. What if we invent new form of energy? That will be a fundamental breakthrough. So that's what it means by saying focus on fundamental breakthroughs, not saying the same thing again and again and improve. Not an improved version of your mobile phone. Alright? This is different. So, again, we are revisiting the slides, the sphere of the human being. It should be done with this as the basis. We need to get this as the basis in everything. This is what the human being is. This is what we are here to create individually and collectively. You must always remember these 2 points. This one. Actions seek to enhance human spirit. Human spirit always seeks to be engaged in every action. This is the human being spirit in being. This is the human spirit in action. This is the circle of life we should always be building the new paradigms towards. Right? And what's the goal? The new paradigm goal should be, again, revisiting from the chapter 1, paradigm should support self-sustaining cycle of all life on earth. Paradigms must support synthesis, making of all elementals. Paradigms must support human spirit. Paradigms must enhance the two relations, humans to humans and humans to earth at the same time. So I'll leave you with this, with the shorter version of the creation of new paradigms. Think about it. Hi, again, back with you. So we are on to chapter 3. So let's define beingness, because we talked a lot about being, the human being, in the first chapter, very briefly, but now I'm going to expand on that. So you'll get a more closer and closer concepts, ideas, feeling, thought, everything, which will bring you closer to what I mean by beingness. So let's just jump into it. Okay. So what are the myths and lies? We are being told so many lies from the time we are kids. It's amazing. Anyway, so what are the myths and lies of beingness? Okay, first one, words, ideas, concepts are not your being. So people are told lots of words, concepts, ideas, things like even love, compassion, beauty. What all is this other than a bunch of vowels and consonants? These are nothing but just words. Words don't mean anything. They are not your being. They are not the essence of your being. I want to use your feeling, intuition here when you follow me in this podcast. So, words, ideas, and concepts are not your being. Somebody tells you a certain idea, somebody throws in a bunch of words at you, or somebody throws in a concept at you. That is not your being. Okay? That's the first lie. Second lie. Interpretations, meanings, and opinions are not your being. Somebody has an opinion about you. Oh, you are this, or you are that. Or somebody has, oh, you're doing this, meaning this means that. Or you're doing this, meaning this means that. Doesn't mean anything. It's not your being. Somebody interprets something. No, you said this to me the other day, so that means this. That is their interpretation. It's nothing to do with your being. See? Separate out the lies of beingness. Okay? Third point. Your current education, society, history, stories, myths, belief systems are not your being. This is a big one. As you know, you're brought up with a certain education, you belong to a certain society, you belong to a certain country, race, whatever it is, right? History, you have to be taught history in history books. this one, this was a king, this was this one, this was this race, this was that race. All that is just story. History is nothing but his story. Doesn't mean anything. Myths, if this happens, that happens, all kinds of myths that every country has, really. Every country has. Belief systems. You must believe in this, you must believe in that, you must believe in this God, you must believe in that God, you must believe in this government or that particular leader, or you must believe in this education, or you must believe in this and that. Belief systems are not your being. Last one. Where you are born, your class, your society, your race, your religion have nothing to do with your being. Where you're born is just that you're taken a body as a being. Okay, your soul has taken a body. It's nothing to do with your being. So these are all the lies that you have been told what is beingness, and this is what you have to be. This is who you are. This is your identity, and all kinds of other rubbish, which I don't want to get into, but it's just rubbish. Okay, you can throw it off in the trash can. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean. Okay. So what is the truth of the being? Well, here the truth of beingness. Okay, what is beingness? You must understand that what feels right to you is a part of who your being really is. What feels inside. You listen to something, it feels good inside you, or it doesn't feel good inside. It feels light or it feels heavy. You got to always go with your inner feeling. Every thought generates an emotion. That emotion feels right to you, it is your truth. Go with your truth. So that is what your being came here for. You came here for something, right? You want to know your purpose, why you're here, what you're here to do? Well, that's a guideline. Go with your inner feeling. If it feels right, it is for you. If it doesn't feel right, it's not for you. It may be good for someone else. That's perfectly fine. You may think chocolate ice cream is good, somebody else thinks vanilla is good. It's just a choice. So it's okay. But go with your truth. Your truth is what your being came here for, right? Third one. Okay, taking a break for getting some food. Where was I? Okay, so next point. What do you feel as... Feel is the key word there. Inside you as right and wrong are the true guidance for what is real, again, for you. It can be not true for the other person. So you have to be careful in this discernment, because there is a common good and there is a common bad. Always there is that. Like killing another being or killing another human is bad by itself. Everybody knows this. So there's that falls in the realm of common good and common bad. But I'm speaking individually here. So individually, what you feel inside you as right and wrong are your true guidance towards the real being. What you breathe as air, smell, taste, touch, all the sensory perception is real and what brings you closer to your being. These can bring you closer to your being. That's the key to understand here. Your being is always present. You can come closer and closer and closer to it. And that will make you feel more and more towards your own internal alignment with your being, right? What you translate inside you, keyword is translate, and inside you, from the external world, which creates certain doubts, fears, anxiety, are markers of how far you are from the real being you are, right? If something creates doubts, fears, anxiety, panic, etc. inside you, you're pretty far from your real being. You need to start getting in alignment then, right? Last, when you go beyond what you are taught, yet use it to discern carefully what is right for you and what is not, it brings you closer to your beingness. You're taught certain things by your parents, by your society. Many of the things are good. Many of the habits are good. Many of the lifestyles are good. Many of the things your elders teach you are good. Many of the things your institutions teach you are good. There's no blanket rule that says this is uniformly bad or this is uniformly good. But We're not talking about good and bad here. We're talking about your beingness. What is the essence of your being? And we'll get to that more in the next ones. Yes? All right. Coming to the next one. Remember this one in the first chapter, the sphere of human being? I'll get my glasses 1 second. Okay, so remember the sphere of human being. Action seeks to enhance human spirit. Human spirit always seeks to be engaged in every action. The central circle comprising this 6 parts: compassion, love, balance, knowledge, understanding, and beauty. That's your being. And the outer circles 4 are the action points which you engage with the world. Right? So now let's expand on each one of these. I'm going to spend some time in expanding so that you get a sense of what the feeling we have been talking about. What's the feeling of compassion? What's the feeling of love? What's the feeling of balance? What's the feeling of knowledge, understanding, and beauty? Right? So let's move on. How does this work? What is the processes? What must I do? Okay, let's start with the first one, compassion. So compassion. In the sphere of human being, what is compassion and how do you use compassion to create, engage, regenerate, expand? And why it leads to more and more compassion, right? So compassion. I'm using the word feels everywhere so that you know what it feels like, because feeling is where the real being is, right? Compassion feels like connection. Now, I want you to reflect very deeply on each one of these. It cannot be told many things in words because it is your heart center. This is a heart-centered consciousness. Compassion feels like unifying. You feel like unifying with the other person whom you're feeling towards. Compassion feels sacred, divine, whatever you may call it, right? Feels like sacred, very holy. Compassion feels like something bigger than you are, and yet you are a part of that, right? This is the sphere of human being as it relates to compassion. And you can use compassion to create. You can use compassion to create and regenerate or expand, any one of these, right? It's a link to all 4 of them. Each emotion, each of your being, nature of your being is connected to all 4, right? Seems wrong with my throat today. Okay, next. So let's go to the next one. Love. Wow, this is talked about a lot and there's a lot of misinterpretation about it. Let's clear this up. What does love feel like? Love feels like appreciation. When you love something or someone or some animal or plant or human being or your work or your art form or your whatever you're engaged in any one of these actions, whatever you're creating, whatever you're engaged with, whatever you're regenerating, whatever you're expanding to, if there is a love in center of that, it feels like appreciation. It feels like you belong to something or someone. It feels like expansion outward, as if your heart's going outward. It's a feeling of expansion to the outer world. It feels like peace. Love feels like peace inside. Love feels like joy at the same time. So it's peace and joy and expansion, a sense of belonging, a sense of appreciation. That's the feeling of love. Really, let it be to one human to another, or let it be towards anything, towards an action, towards creation, towards engaging with another human being or any of the life forms on the planet, anything. That's the feeling of love. Really, it comes down to these feelings. Yeah? Let's move on to the next. So, the next one on the list, balance. What does balance feel like? If you say balanced human being, what does it feel like? It feels like sureness. I'm sure of myself. That's balance. It feels like confidence. I'm confident. Balance feels like you're centered in your being. It's like life force energy is moving through the center of your being. It's like your spine is all alert, aware, and your brain is working at its peak potential. Your heart center is very, very well balanced. So it feels like that. You're centered in your being. Balance feels like a calm courage. Courage is often misinterpreted as you go around chest thumping and telling everybody else how you feel like, oh, I'm very courageous, I'm this and that. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with balance. If you're balanced, it feels like calm courage. It's what the Zen Buddhism talks of. It's like the calmness. It's like the Zen feeling. You're centered. You're calm, you're alert, and yet you're centered. That's the balance. That's because they're balanced. They've achieved the balance inside themselves. Right? Okay, let's move on to the next. So, next one on the list, knowledge. What does knowledge feel like? So when you accumulate knowledge to create, expand, engage, and regenerate, what does it feel like? Knowledge feels like expansion. Knowledge feels like growth. I'm growing in something. I've learned something new about the world, or about the person, or about the work that I'm doing, or about the line that I'm involved in, art, science, painting, music, anything. It feels like growth. You learn something today. Knowledge feels like curiousness. We are all curious, even as a child, even as a baby, we are curious, putting things in our mouths. We are always curious. Humans are always curious about things. Knowledge feels like nurturing that curiousness. Knowledge feels like sureness, like you know something, now you know better how to handle it. You put your hand on the stove, you burn it, next time you don't go and do that. So there's the knowledge accumulated about even a hot stove, right? Next on the list, understanding. What does understanding feel like? Understanding feels like connection between heart and mind. So when you learn something, accumulated some knowledge, as in the previous slide, and then you use your heart also along with it, you understand. When somebody is your friend is telling, or your colleague, or your wife, or your husband, or your lover, or anybody is telling you, I feel like this, such and such a thing is going on, and you say to the other person, really feeling it, whatever the person, you're really listening to them, and you say, I understand what you're going through. That understanding is a connection between heart and mind you have established. This understanding needs to come, and especially in a world like this today, it really needs to come in a big way. People don't understand each other very well. That needs to be there. So, understanding feels like you are an instrument of change for the good of all. So, as if you are a part of the whole and you are contributing in the way that is very unique to you. Everybody is not the same. No two fingers are the same. So you're bringing in something that is unique, understood by you, along with whatever your being brings, but you're using it as an instrument of change for the good of all. Understanding feels like compassion with knowledge. This is what is missing, big piece in the world. Everybody has a lot of knowledge, and they are pompous egos running around saying, I'm bigger than you, I know more than you. So I'm your master, you are my slave. That's not compassion. That's not aligned with your being. Understanding feels like compassion with knowledge. Understanding feels like connectedness with all life and planet. So that understanding is a much more, as you can feel it, it's a larger, expanded understanding. I know what my relation is with my family, with my society, my country, and then I go forward what my understanding is with my race. I know what my understanding with the other races, other peoples of other lands. I know what my understanding is with the planet and all its being. So the understanding can expand. Right? Last on the list, I think, is beauty. What does beauty feel like? And how can you create beauty, expand with beauty, engage in beauty, regenerate beauty? So what does it feel like? Beauty feels like a right place to be. When you look at a beautiful thing, whatever beauty is to you, they say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, of course. Everybody's idea of beauty is different, what they feel like. And that's good. It brings variety to everything. So beauty feels like the right place to be. Beauty feels like adoration. You're adoring something. Something, someone. Someone's beauty, something's beauty, some animal's beauty, plant, person, anything. Or even your work, maybe whatever you're creating. Remember, the creation is there, right there with beauty. If you're creating an art form, creating a new kind of presentation like this, or if you're creating a new piece of music, or your scientific invention, or if you're treating your patient, or whatever it is. feels like a divine connection. Beauty feels like what you're here to create. So creation of beauty is a very big part of what humans are here for. Many philosophers have spoken about this in the past. So that brings us to your being and how it is connected to the circle of life. We always come back to the goal. What is the goal of all of the beings here? The elementals, the life forms, flora, fauna, the individuals, family, state, country, etc. The human being collective, the earth collective, elemental collective, and the flora, fauna collective, life form collective. So, your being should support the self-sustaining cycle of all life on earth. Whatever we discussed before now. Analyze it with this. Integrate it with this. Your being must support synthesis, making of all elements. Your being must support human spirit. Your being must enhance two relationships, humans to humans, humans to earth at the same time. So I leave you with this much for now, and we'll take it further analysis and further podcasts. Have a good night.